Welcome back to KTN Prime. Thanks for staying with us. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. You know, leaders are created by circumstances and they rise to the occasion. My guest tonight is hell-bent on turning the tide and challenging the status quo in the ODM party. Two-term legislator representing Embakasi East constituency, Babu Owino, is in the building. Mheshimiwa, thanks for your patience. Let's continue with the conversation. And before we continue with matters to do with the PS for insecurity and goons, as you called him, I just want to take you through what Kenyans will be waking up to tomorrow on Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. The headline is to do with the shameless CSs, where we've seen a couple of CSs on the campaign trail, you know, in contravention of the Leadership and Integrity Act. We well know of a court ruling that sort of made it fluid for CSs to campaign and whatnot. But what do you make of what we've seen from members of the cabinet going to the campaign trail and taking partisan sides?
You know, Jesse, one thing that CS should do is to work for Kenyans. The duty of a CS is to execute. The word executive, the word execute comes from the word executive. Execution is to work. At what point will a CS receive briefing from the juniors who are behind him, from the PS, from the directors general, from other junior officers? At what point will they sit down to make policies and implement these policies? Right now, it's 1 year, 7 months to elections. But you see the CSs are going around campaigning and campaigning for the president instead of working. It's quite a shame that they are using choppers, moving from one place to the other, but people are going without food. You look at Northeastern, none of the CSs has gone there. There's hunger, there's famine.
Well,
people are dying.
The CS for public service. I think Ruku was there recently.
But what did he do as he was there? Was there any tangible thing that he did? All these CSs who are going for political activities, why can't they go and salvage this situation? We have in this country, we have Israel, Jesse. Israel is considered a desert, but because of good agricultural skills and agriculture, they export fruits. Kenya consists of, agriculture contributes approximately 19% to our economy. Out of that, the total land that we have, only 16% is arable, is good for farming. Then 84% is arid and semi-arid areas. It means that Northeastern, when well equipped, making the soil moist, just availability, we don't depend on rainfall alone.
Okay.
We just introduce irrigation so that we can produce food. We can depend on agriculture and expand our food security. But if a CS moves from here, goes to Northeastern, just to give maize flour, just to give beans, is it sustainable? It is not. Okay. So therefore, all these CSs should move to these places where Kenyans are suffering. Right now, as we speak, you are very much aware how people are suffering. People are waking up very early in the morning just to dream about next month's rent, to look for the next month's rent. They're waking up very early in the morning to get a day's meal, just 1 day's meal. You are a CS seated somewhere, inviting elders to come and give you advice on how you should deliver. What a shame. You are a CS, you know very well that kids are sent away from school. You've not released the capitation for schools. Help has not been released on time. And at the same time, you increase taxation for Kenyan citizens. What are you trying to do? And then you go and start heckling in rallies. So it's quite a shame.
Okay. Fair point. And we definitely hope for the Leadership and Integrity Act to be looked into.
And by the way, in addition to that,
briefly,
I have a petition in Parliament that is calling out these CSs, curbing them from doing political activities. That petition, I am the petitioner in that matter. And an order was given that they should not be doing that. So they're even contravening They are in contempt of court.
Well, let's talk matters to do with political intolerance now, because we had started briefly on that particular matter, and it would be keen to know what measures your camp is taking to ensure there's no more loss of lives. We know you're taking a short break in the Linda Mwananchi tours. After Ramadan, you might be heading the road to Mombasa County. Well, as you point fingers, we'd equally want you to justify as well, because you've named and shamed them, but the burden of proof lies with the accuser. Why would you mention the PS as a man behind these goons?
Jesse, as an advocate, I know that I must back my information, or rather my accusations, with evidence. If you can just see this message. I don't want to reveal the name of the person for security purposes.
All right.
But this message reads, and I am with you, Babu, tumekuwa mobilized twende airport na watu wa Raymond, ndio usiingie. Tunapitia hardware kuchukua mapanga na taribo. Team ingine imeenda stage na buses ziko ready kwenda Kakamega. Kina Omosh was raunda hapo Kondele, wamepewa instructions, lazima wakutoe mbio ndio pesa yao itoke.
That is one.
That is one, yes. My brother. This is not hearsay. This is evidence. Okay? And hearsay evidence is also admissible before a court of law, by the way. Okay. Number two, let's see. This is one of the guys that good. Babu, please be careful. Raymond Omolo hired us to attack you and your supporters. He paid us 1K each. Don't come to Kisumu airport. That was on Saturday. I will just take the money because I don't have what to eat today.
And who are this? Who's that texting you?
My brother, I can't name names for their security purposes.
Okay.
These are people who were hired, as they have clearly indicated here, that their interest was just to have the money. Their interest is just to have the money. But there are those also who had bad intention, like the ones who went, you aired the news here, you've just seen another widow left in Kisumu, and this widow was just crying here, was stating clearly that the husband woke up very early in the morning to go and get food for them, to go and look for daily bread for them. Unfortunately, he did not get back home. He's a boda driver. He was a boda rider. This man was killed. Today, the DCI was clearly saying that this man was beaten by mob justice. Let me ask you a question. A rally that we organized at Mbale, the people who came to support us, to listen to us, could kill our own supporters? How can our supporters kill our supporters? I want to tell you that these things were organized earlier. They were organized earlier. Today, KAA released a letter saying clearly that now they are now in charge of the airport. But there was admission that there was a problem at the airport, Kisumu International Airport. So could we organize goons to come and attack us for us not to get to Kisumu? Could we do that?
But you know, politics is a dirty game.
But my brother, let me tell you, as much as politics can be a dirty game, but why would we organize an attack on ourselves? For what do we want to achieve? What sympathy do we want to achieve? What sympathy do we want to get? And Kenyans are listening to us. Those crowds that we are getting are not as a result of sympathy. Those crowds are as a result of lack of jobs.
All right.
As a result of hunger. As a result of high cost of living. That is why they are coming to listen to us. And I want to tell you, my brother, that on the same Saturday, the security officers that I use when I go to Kisumu were arrested. Something funny, that police officers, DCI officers, came all the way from Nairobi to go and arrest specific security officers belonging to Babu Owino so that trumped up charges can be pressed against them.
Have they been charged yet?
I'm coming there. Then I called the officers, told them to release my officers because there was nothing they had done. They were going back home. They insisted, they wanted to plant guns on them, but you know, they can do anything. Then number two, today, they were arraigned in court. Do you know what is shocking? the charge that has been pressed against them, and a miscellaneous application made for a further 10 days for them to be held. That ruling is coming up by tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Okay.
That they should be held for a further 10 days. And the charge is that they were preparing to commit a felony, an intention to commit a felony. What type of a charge is that? You had an intention. You know, for you to prove such a charge, you must be me. You must be in my mind, body, and soul. To have learned that, you know, this specific car, we are coming, they are nowadays prophets. They came from Nairobi because officers in Kisumu refused to execute the orders from the PS to arrest these people because they were simply my security officers. So they are nowadays prophets. They are saying, we are going at this specific time, we will get these people, and we know that they are planning to commit an offense. We had finished our rallies. They were arrested around 6 p.m. in the evening. They were going back home. And for you to prove an intention to commit a felony, my brother, there are two things that prosecution must always work on. The actus reus and the mens rea. The action in itself. The guilty act, the wrongful act. There was no wrongful act. You can't say they were intending to commit a felony. And number two, the mens rea, the guilty state of mind. How can you get into their mind before even committing an offense, to learn that they were going to commit an offense? So we are waiting for that ruling tomorrow. And I want to tell the PS for Insecurity, Raymond Omolo, to stop misusing the police, number one. Number two, to stop misusing our youth. We see him going around Kisumu, other parts of Nyanza region, building 1 or 2 houses for widows. He's the one creating these widows. He created so many widows during Ongondowere's time. He created so many widows when they were going for by-elections in Kasipul. He created so many widows, even including yesterday. Yesterday, there's a widow that was left there. Tomorrow you will see him going to construct a house for that widow. So my brother, Ongondowere was assassinated. You remember that? His main PA, called Calvo, whom Raymond Omolo employed at Lake Basin. Are you aware that he was arrested? Because he's the one who was planning and executed the assassination of Ongondowere. Are you aware of that? So my brother, these things are being organized by the state for the best interest of the state.
Okay. And this is just the start, it seems. Let's just shift focus perhaps away from political intolerance, because time is definitely not on our side. And I'd like you to set the record straight, Mahesh. There are those who think that you're on the right path, that you're speaking truth to justice with the current clamor that is going on. Your critics still call you out. They mention that you're a rebel, that you're going against the party decisions, advancing personal political agenda at the expense of party unity. So set the record straight. I know we can't stop an idea whose time has come. What's your idea here? What are you pushing for, Babu Owino?
My brother, we have a team called Team Linda Mwananchi. We know what Kenyans are going through. Kenyans are going through so many challenges. If you leave this place, just here at the gate, there's still a border rider waiting to get a customer so that they can take food home, so that they can get school fee. There is the other day, an Uber driver died inside a car because of fatigue. And a blanket was found inside a duvet, a blanket was found inside the car, which means that this person has taken a loan to get this rider, to get the Uber, to get the car, or a border. This person, if the car is hired, then they have to meet the daily expenses, must give money for food every day, must get fee from this same business. This person must get fuel, and this person must pay the online facilitators, okay? Yeah. The online apps, the Ubers and the Bolts, okay? And this person must invest, must save for the future. Such a person is working so hard. There's a woman in the village, every day, wakes up very early in the morning, just to go and lima shamba, to plow for people so that they can get 200 shillings or 100 shillings in a day. People are struggling. There's high cost of living. There's famine. There's overtaxation. As a result of all these challenges, we saw the need that we need to keep this government under strict check, under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances. This was brought up by a gentleman called Charles Louis de Baron de Secondat de Montesquieu in 1748. That is when the separation of powers, checks and balances came in.
Yeah.
So when the government is not doing that which they promised to do, when the government is not ensuring that a boda rider graduates, as they said, from riding a boda into owning a matatu, when the government ensures that help is not released on time, when the government ensures that university fee is increased for comrades, when the government ensures that health sector is not working properly, then we come in and we say, we just remind them politely that, you know what, you need to work. You need to help these Kenyans that you promised, because regimes come and go. This is a nation that we should build, and we need an economy to grow. We remind them just that. And then they say that we are wrong. Then they say that, you know what, because you guys are wrong, then we must suspend you from the party. And that is why the Secretary General Sifuna was suspended. Then they form a group called the Linda Ground, baptized Linda Ground, but in real sense, it is an affordable ODM. It is the Linda Tumbo. Okay? What are the differences between Linda Ground and Linda Wananchi? Number one, Linda Ground wants power. They say we want power. While Linda Wananchi wants empowerment for the people. Linda Ground is retrogressive. They are retrogressive forces. But Linda Wananchi are progressive minds. Linda Ground are hero-worshipping the system. Okay? While Linda Wananchi believe that our rights come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hands of the Almighty God. So, my brother, there's a big difference between these two teams. One that is pro-people. The reason why I'm in Linda Wananchi is this. Jesse, my upbringing was so messed up, meaning that I was brought up from a very humble background. I went without food. Today, if you come tell me that you're going without food, Jesse, I know what it is to go without food, so I will understand you, because at some point, I slept hungry. If you tell me that your child has been sent away for lack of fees, at some point in my life, I lacked fees. I know what it is to lack school fees. So therefore, when I see a mama mboga there, not getting the meal for the day, a juakali artisan, not getting money for school fees, then I remember my days and I say they're indeed struggling and they lack. And that is why I choose the side of the people. Okay. Because I know what they go through.
So that's the agenda. For those who question the agenda of this Linda Mwananchi, intention ni gani? What exactly are you trying to
Let me tell you
forth?
something, my brother.
Is it to struggle for the ODM leadership? We've seen banners of presidency in 2027 during the meetings, so that the message is not convoluted. What exactly is Linda Mwananchi pushing for?
Linda Mwananchi is pushing for the best interest of the common Mwananchi, fighting for the rights, the inalienable rights of common Mwananchi. And we will do it spiritedly and religiously. I want to tell you that this Linda Mwananchi, it is a movement not fighting for power, not fighting to divide ODM, but a movement that is keeping this government, the excesses of the government, in check. A movement that will ensure me and you, our generation to come, will still survive. Our generation, we are fighting for the future of this nation. We want to build a strong nation. We want a nation that is economically viable. Let me tell you something, my brother. By 2002, the economy was so bad. Corruption engulfed Kenya as a nation, destroyed our nation under the Moi's regime. Then when Kibaki came in, the economy was at around 2% approximately. Then Kibaki came up with something called the economic recovery system, where the economic growth rate rose to around 7.1%. Then we came up with the Vision 2030 after 2007. And the projection was to get a double digit, just to attain 10% only.
By then, yes.
By 2012, and then we sustained it all the way to 2030.
Okay.
As a result of that, people would not be struggling today. Today, we are being told that we are celebrating what we mentioned, the local figures that we have, 5% economic growth rate. The World Bank figures, by international standards, is around 4.6%. I want to tell you that we are celebrating 4.6%, something that we achieved in 2007. Are we mad? Jesse, are we out of our minds? And we are boasting that our nation is growing. Look at what is happening to the sugar industry. Instead of focusing on agriculture. In Sri Lanka, Jesse, it takes only 6 months for sugarcane to be harvested. But in Kenya, it takes a farmer 18 months. So Sri Lanka is 3 times better. They are harvesting 3 times within 1 year, 8 months, as Kenya is harvesting once. And when we import that sugar, it's cheaper than the sugar that we obtain locally. What does this tell you? Jesse, we are still importing goods worth 2.7 trillion. And 80% of the goods that we consume, including eggs and even toothpick, something ni kukata tu kijiti. Right. We are still importing. And we export goods worth only 1 trillion. Deficit of 1.7. So we are spending money. We are promoting foreign absorption. Money is going outside instead of promoting domestic absorption. Money should be circulating. We should promote, as we speak, local manufacturing. Okay. We are not doing that. Okay. So tell me, with all this pain, look at your pay slip, my brother. It is raided as we speak, correct? Your pay slip has the housing levy. Do you have that house? We are still paying rent, and you are told that you will have a house, so you are raided already. Look at SHA. You make contribution, something which is not commensurate to what you are contributing. NHIF was removed. For what reason? Spending close to around 1 billion Kenya shillings just to come up with an infrastructure that already existed, that could have been, that money could have provided how many jobs, my friend? In Nairobi alone, we only needed a close to around 60 to 100 billion to solve the challenge of water by construction of dams. And because Nairobi, people are experiencing so many challenges, including challenges of water. There's no sufficient supply of clean water. We get our water from where? From Thika Dam, that is the Thika and Kaini Dam. All right. We get our water from the Ruiru Dam, from the Spring Valley. And when we get it, Nairobi's consumption is projected to be around 930,000 cubic meters, or close to around 1 billion liters in simple terms. Then what is coming in is only 600 million liters. There's a deficit. Now, there's a deficit of 400 million liters, which can be cured easily if we just construct dams, and then we get water in Nairobi. So this money is just lost like that. Today, I saw in your newspaper, and you probably also projected in the news, I think yesterday. Look at the Talanta Stadium. How many billions were lost? Over 10 billion Kenya shillings lost. What can 10 billion do in terms of job creation?
It can definitely do a lot.
Can change so much.
Yeah, and,
okay? And so as a result of that, that is why we are going to talk to the common Mwananchi. All right. About what is affecting their lives.
And one might argue, how will you be able to enact some of these policy legislative changes without power? Because I want us to hear from your party leader, Dr. Oburu Oginga, on some sentiments he shared, including how they're not chasing you out of the party, but equally their priority areas. Let's just listen in to what he had to say.
What we want is the unity of our party. We are not expelling anybody from the party, but anybody who feels that he is uncomfortable with us can leave if he likes. We have no shame. There is no political party which is formed in this world just to be in the opposition. We have been in the opposition for a long time, but this time round, we are going to make sure that we are in power.
Okay, there you get it. And he makes sort of a logical argument. No political party is formed to sit on the opposition trenches forever. The goal is to get power and perhaps enact some of the promises, the changes they promised the people. So when you hear your party leader saying that, what exactly is on the negotiation table once they sit down with UDA? Are the people the focus, or is it simply to do with power?
First of all, Jesse, akufukuzaye akwambii toka. And there was already, going by the doctrine of legitimate expectation, already the Secretary General was told that, you need to get out. He was sent away, right, from the position. But as we speak, the court reinstated him until the matter is heard and determined.
Yeah.
And that tells you that he's still the Secretary General. The party leader, the alleged party leader, and I will explain why he's alleged, because of the way he was selected was not procedural. Okay, I want to tell you, my brother, that Dr. Buru is behaving in a way that Baba would have not behaved. Baba, where he is, he must be a disturbed man, and he's saying that if you want to leave, you can leave. That is chest thumping. This party was not built by Dr. Buru alone. This party was built by toiling, moiling, and gnashing of the teeth. People sweating, bloodshed. This is not a party for one person. This is a party for Kenyans. ODM is the biggest party, my brother. And ODM has always fought for the interest of the people. When he says that a party is not created to be in opposition, my brother, that is so wrong. Because not unless we don't know what opposition means. Opposition does not mean that you have to suffer. Opposition means that you put the government of the day in check under the doctrine of separation of powers, checks and balances. Yeah. You put the government of the day. Opposition is in the United States of America. Opposition is in Britain. Opposition ensures that the excesses of the government are checked. Without opposition, the government will destroy all her citizens.
True, but what's the ultimate goal of a political party?
But let me tell you. So being in opposition is not a wrong thing. Okay? On the other hand, if you go and compete and you win, then you will control the government of the day. Right?
True.
You will be a regime of the day. And therefore you will implement your policies, your manifesto. My brother, going for election is just like a job interview. There is no serious politics in it. It's like you're coming for a job interview, you're expressing your policies, trying to tell Mwananchi that, I'm a better candidate than the other candidate. When they give you that opportunity, then you need to work. I also am of the fact, and I'm also aware, that leadership is the only field, the only position where once elected, you are elevated to the highest possible level of ignorance. And I want to say that almost 100% of leaders are ignorant. Why am I saying so?
Including you?
Let me explain why I'm saying so.
Okay.
Because you've been elevated to the highest level of ignorance. Babu Owino is an actuary. Babu Owino is an advocate. But Babu Owino is a leader of all doctors. Yet all doctors want Babu Owino to take care of their interest, and Babu Owino does not know anything to do with medicine. Ain't you ignorant? You are. Babu Owino should take care of the interest of all journalists, yet he's not a journalist. Ignorant.
He doesn't know where the shoe pinches.
Babu Owino should take care of all spiritual men and women, all their interests. And he might not know how to do that because probably doesn't. I'm not saying that I don't know that nowadays. Umejua siku hizi Biblia ndio rafiki yangu. Now, Babu Owino is supposed to be a leader of all thieves and goons as a PS for insecurity, right? Yet Babu Owino does not know how to steal, okay? So therefore, you are an ignorant person. So leadership bus is the only bus that you drive from the back, not from the front. You let the engineers guide you. You let journalists like Jesse guide you. You let spiritual men and women of God guide you as you take instructions and you implement. You cannot be a doctor and you are the same person who is an advocate and you are the same person who is a thief and you are the same person who is, you are everything. You will mess. That is where now we come in. If a system is going rogue, if a system is not delivering, then you say that now that we are in opposition, what do? We keep checks and balances so that Mama Mboga who was told that she will graduate from selling the mboga in a kiosk to owning a supermarket. Has it been done? That is what we want to know. That those 1 million jobs that we were told that will be given every year, have they been given? No. Then we remind the government that, remember you said this, but you haven't done it.
All right. That
the hustler fund that stopped, people should still be given that hustler fund. Has it been given? What is happening with it and which businesses are successful? We are trying to remind them. So being in opposition is not a wrong thing, my brother. You keep the government of the day on toes, okay? All but right. if you win an election, then you control the economy. Then you must also work. But you cannot purport to join a government that has not done that which even the owner of that party wanted done. The 10-point agenda. Number one, corruption. Is corruption still going on? We were told that Talanta Stadium, 10 billion lost, okay? We talk about compensation. Those who were killed, have the families been compensated? And do you know, Jesse, most of these people were comrades, most of them were students, okay? A parent educates a child from primary school, nursery school, primary school, high school to the university. Sells all their earthly belongings, sells, if they have land, might have been sold.
All right.
Everything that they own, all the savings, done. Then you return this child in a coffin, in a casket. What do you communicate to this parent? And then you promise that you will compensate them. You cannot compensate life with money. Then you promise you shall compensate them. Then when the time comes, you don't compensate. We talked about equality. We talked about certain reforms that are supposed to take place. Have these things happened? Even one of them? Nothing has happened. Then you say, we want power. Which power do you want? Which power do you want? And we are the people with the people. So if you tell us, if you can live, you live. We live and we are the ones who are with the people. You've been comparing these rallies. Who are the real owners of ODM? Tell me, Jesse. We are the ones with the people. Wako na chama, tuko na wanachama.
Interesting. Compensation was, at least there was a semblance of progress, but a couple of leaders, some of them allied to you, actually went to court to halt that compensation panel. So when we're talking about compensation, and perhaps I'll equally put you to task on your take on this 10-point agenda, because the deadline is fast approaching. We have a committee that has been doing, public participation around the country in a bid to implement or oversee the implementation of this 10-point. Is there a semblance of progress from where you sit so that we can justify why ODM is pushing forward with a pre-election agreement with UDA?
My brother, this is just personal interest. When I talk about, first of all, when you come to the issue of compensation, there are people who went to court, but we know that this is mchezo ya town, okay? You say, I will compensate. On the other hand, you send somebody to go to court so that an injunction can be issued to stop the compensation, okay? These are things which happened in the hands of the police officers who killed people, who maimed people, who destroyed property and lives. Okay?
Okay.
So therefore, a government just taking some money which is not commensurate to life, but could be reasonable to transform the lives of these people who were affected. The family, they were the hopes of the families.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. At least to change their lives. So when you tell us that you want to compensate and then you don't compensate and then somebody rushes to court and then you say that now we want to do public participation. The deadline is on March 7th.
True.
Are we going to do these things? Are we going to achieve these things? Definitely no. So therefore, what is the hurry? Why do you want to get in? The Baba, before he passed on, I remember I was in his meeting. He made an oral will. He talked and said, we should not be fooling this broad-based government. And he said that ODM should field a candidate, a presidential candidate. Dr. Buru, who is my father and also qualifies to be my grandfather, and I deserve to respect him, by the way. He's my elder. Okay? Dr. Buru is saying that he doesn't want a president as ODM, still he wants power, right? And he, at the same time, doesn't want deputy president. And he said it in the presence of Kindiki, correct? Still wants power, right? So which power do we need?
DP,
Which power now do we need as a party?
Well, it's conflicted in terms of what exactly Oburu Oginga and that faction want. But it seems they're going into these negotiations with UDA for the pre-election agreement, whether you like it or not. And perhaps it will warrant my next question, Babu, because we've seen Linda Mwananchi. At the end of the day, will you be leaving ODM if this pre-election agreement is actually cast in stone? What is the end game? Because they seem sure that power will come, will either form government or be part of a coalition that forms government. Where does that leave you?
Jesse, we need an NDC which is properly constituted.
There's one coming up 27th.
Which should be properly constituted. There should be an audit of the names, the list of the delegates, properly constituted. We cannot go for this NDC before we properly select Dr. Buru as the party leader. The process of selection is simple. That a notice must be given for a NEC meeting. Okay? In that NEC meeting, there can be a nomination, okay, of a party leader. But a notice, together with agenda, should be sent out,
okay,
which was never done. The meeting that selected Dr. Buru, I was there at Agile. And I'm saying this because I'm the one who should be the party leader of ODM. My brother, in that meeting at Agile, we were called that were supposed to go there as members of parliament to receive Baba together with some members of NEC, because Baba was being brought from India, the body. Then all of a sudden, Abdul Swamad, the governor for Mombasa, proposes Oburu's name as a party leader. Why were we hurrying even before burying Baba? Where were we going with the party? What was the hurry for? Why were we dancing on the grave of Baba? Why were we happy with Baba's death?
The continuation.
Let me tell you, my brother, what was the hurry for? Who wanted to bring a coup in ODM as at that moment? The owner of the party, not even buried. Look at the burial of Baba. The people who went to bury Baba were all Baba's enemies. These are people who sprayed, who were in charge of the system of the police. When police officers were spraying Baba with bullets, I was there with him at Embakasi. And you saw all these things with tear gas. These are the people who were MCs. Were organizing Baba's burial, the PSS that we are talking about, the CS for interior, the PS for interior. My brother, once a NEC has been called, then a notice for an NDC must also be issued, signed, duly signed by the Secretary General of the party. Then this notice should indicate clearly the date and the agenda of the NDC. Are we communicating?
Yeah.
Then this notice must be published in a newspaper of at least one or two newspapers of a nationwide circulation. After that, an NDC will happen. But at the NDC, the moment it happens, the Secretary General again will forward the resolutions of the NDC together with the notice of the NDC, together with a list of delegates, duly signed by the delegates, together with a notice of NEC meeting, previous, just before the NDC, the NEC meeting, and all their attendees, and a forwarding letter taken to office of the registrar of the political parties. But we cannot go for an illegal NDC. We still want to know There's an illegality. That was a kangaroo meeting. The process of selecting Dr. Oburu Odinga as the party leader. And I'm talking with a lot of respect. And I'm talking also knowing that I'm younger than Dr. Oburu. And we are being advised in the Bible that you should not let yourself be despised or looked down upon just because you are a youth. Right?
It's a fact.
So therefore, as a leader who has been elected by the people and also elected by some members of also ODM, because Nairobi, you know the composition how it is, I need to question all this. Therefore, the rightful thing for Dr. Oburu Odinga to do is to resign as a party leader, as the purported party leader. We are serious with this party. We want to take this party forward. We don't want a retrogressive party. We want a progressive party. Respectfully. And by the way, as an elder, he should be a trustee of the party. He should be guiding us. Penye wazee wako apakosi jambo na paribiki neno. Si ni ukweli? So as a young person, let me ask you, my brother, is it Dr. Oburu Odinga to go hunt for food to bring for a son who is so energetic, or is it a young son who should be moving to the bush to hunt and bring food for the father?
But what does intergenerational takeover truly mean to you? Because is it to do away with the old guard and in with the young tax? Shouldn't there be a sort of generational handover? So when you cast...
My brother, we don't have a problem with people who are older than us. These are our fathers. These are our grandfathers. We respect them and we should respect them. The difference between a young person and an older person is that a young person only knows how to be young, but an older person knows both how to be young and how to be old. But at the same time, my brother, we are living in such a time where the young, the energetic can come up with new ideas, fresh ideas. We are living in a very fast system right now as we speak, right? And we are overqualified to hold these positions. We don't disagree with the fact that older people should provide guidance. We have Comrade Orengo on our side, providing wisdom. Actually, somebody said that Orengo is misleading us. It is us who are leading Orengo, and he's guiding us. You see, my brother, he's gone through all these things. Orengo is the only person who's been elected from 1978 to date. Never lost an election, only once. But even that once, it was just because of a wave that was uncalled for, you see?
We won't go
but
into
that is
details,
a wise man.
Okay.
Either way, he's a wise man. He's a person who's been guiding us.
So Oburu isn't wise.
We are not fighting. We are not fighting our older. We are not fighting our fathers. We want their wisdom. That's why I told you that Oburu, Senator Oburu, should just guide us. He should be the elder, while Babu should be the leader. He should be a trustee. We don't want to do away with him because he also has the institutional memory, right? But we are just talking about fresh ideas. Okay? The energy, the passion, the acumen, my brother. That is what we are asking for.
So tell me this, if that NDC goes forward, you've definitely called it, you've questioned the legality, kangaroo meeting, I've had some of the terms you've used. What if it goes through? Will you challenge it? And what if they make resolutions to perhaps confirm party leadership positions and the way forward for the party? What next for Babu?
My brother, I told you the most important players in this political field are the people. Where are the people? You can have the party. We will have the people. The party cannot never exist without the people.
So will you exit with the people? If push comes to shove.
Our loyalty is with the people. Our loyalty is with the people. That is the first one.
So if the people tell you to leave, that ODM has become untenable?
So far they have not told us to leave, but there are those who are also calling for that. But that is a story for another day.
I'd like you to confirm this because some of our colleagues in the political field have been hearing of talk of a party that is in waiting, that the young tax in ODM, your likes, Sifuna, Caleb Amisi, already have a party in place. The party headquarters are in Riara. We've heard that the party colors have already been decided as well. Can you confirm or deny this?
Which are the party colors? What is the name of the party? Which are the party colors? Well, I want to tell you, my brother, that I would not be seated here saying that I should be the party leader of ODM if I had a party. Okay? But my brother, the people will also direct us. Whatever is lost in the fire can be achieved in the ashes. You get me? And Julius Nyerere used to say that if we cannot get what we want within CCM, we can get it outside CCM. So we cannot be intimidated by that, my brother. Okay? So what I will tell you, that as at now, we are embracing alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. That is why we are saying that NDC, you've called for it, yes. But number one, it is an illegality. Why? Because the people who called for NDC were not properly put in those offices. Some of them. That is what we are saying, that step aside first, we call for a clean thing, then we go for the elections. But as we speak, they want to they want to force us. They want to democracy, they want to guide democracy, which is wrong.
There are those who find fault with the Secretary General of the party, that's the mouthpiece of the party, speaking his mind, and in some of these instances, it contravenes the party position. As Babu and your seasoned politician, where do you draw the line between indiscipline and, in the true spirit of democracy, speaking your mind? Because as the official mouthpiece of the party, that there should be a line.
My brother, I may not like what you say and how you say it.
True.
But I will protect to the death the right of you saying it. That is what democracy speaks about. Freedom of speech is the oxygen of democracy. And again, my brother, if Sifuna is saying that people are going without food, and therefore make sure you give them jobs, is that a wrong position? It is the right thing to do, correct? Is that contravening the interest of the party? If Sifuna is saying that compensate the families who are, whose children were killed, is that a wrong thing to do? If Sifuna calls for reduction, lowering the high cost of living, is that a crime? Is that a problem? Is that something that the party should be annoyed about? If we are fighting for the interest of the common Mwananchi, is that a problem that the party should be disturbed? So when you tell us that we are indisciplined, what is indiscipline? Fighting for the interest of the people? My brother, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego never obeyed Nebuchadnezzar. They chose to worship the God, Almighty God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And my brother, we shall worship that same God. We will not worship Nebuchadnezzar.
Babu, are you gonna be fruitful with Kenyans and perhaps tell them what the end goal is, especially in this push and pull? Because we have to talk with on this matter with finality. At the end of the day, one side is pulling, the other side is pushing. And Mwananchi is right there in the middle. I'm pretty sure the ODM members who are confused on which side is truly ODM. So I've tried to ask you if you'll be resigning from ODM. You said the people will tell you. That time hasn't come, right?
It's tomorrow's problem. Today's problem is to be the party leader of ODM.
And how will you get there?
We need a properly constituted NDC. That's why we are exploring the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms.
Okay.
We want to resolve this. Okay? We want it. But if you force us, we will follow where the people are going.
Is a reconciliation on the table? Have you struck a reconciliatory tone with Lina?
My brother, democracy says that call for an NDC.
Simple.
Simple. And that NDC, the body calling it, If it is NEC, it must be properly constituted first, not an illegality. Who comes to equity must come with clean hands. That's one of the maxims of equity. But we will not go by a principle of just selfish interest. You know, Adam Smith said in his book, Wealth of Nations, that it is not by the benevolence of the butcher, nor the brewer, nor the chef that we get to eat our dinner, but by their interest attached to it. So these people are playing specific interest. That us, we don't want a president as ODM, a big party as ODM. ODM won elections in 2007. Okay? Yes. ODM won elections in 2013. ODM won elections in 2017 when elections were nullified. ODM won elections in 2022. A party that has won elections, 4 elections, you want to tell us that you don't want president, you don't want deputy president, that you want power? Then you want Paka power or power tab. Which power do you want?
Okay.
Which power do you want?
Do you pick
And
fault?
you know I'm talking like this because I'm so serious with what is happening in villages and slums. People are suffering. And the challenges facing Kenyans cannot wait. They are saying that we are still young. Young what? Jesse. Young, and our age mates are already presidents. Traore in Burkina Faso. Fidel Castro at 32 was a president. Gaddafi at 28 was a president. Rajolina of Madagascar.
The example speaks for themselves. Okay. Yes.
Fire in Senegal. We are young what? And can the problems of Kenyans wait? We need to solve them now. And now is now.
Do you pick fault with politicians politicizing the death of the former ODM leader, Raila Odinga? There's some members of your camp, you've named them wise. Is it wise for them to politicize the death? What do you know about the passing on of Raila Odinga that Kenyans don't?
My brother, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where's the fire? What's the fire?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Let's go to the next question.
Babu, come on. James Orengo says there's something.
And you see, James Orengo is an advocate of the High Court. He also understands.
Alonzo Musyoka as well.
They understand. They are senior counsel.
So for someone who's thinking you're politicizing this death for political mileage, if you tell them there's smoke, there's fire, it seems to substantiate their claims as well.
Think about this issue of Baba and everything surrounding the death of Baba. I think we need sufficient time. I also need to talk about it. Okay? We need time. I need to also talk about it.
I'm giving you a chance.
Some of us, my brother, some of us were genuinely mourning the death of Baba, while some of us were also dancing on the grave of Baba. Let me ask you something, Jesse. Do you think what happened during Baba's burial was the correct thing? When Baba was still lying there, all these leaders were elected because of Baba. Baba was a leader, and a leader is meant to be a bridge, and Baba was a bridge. Baba was a ladder that so many leaders used to climb to the next level. Baba was a bridge that so many leaders used to cross to the other side when there were turbulent waters and there were crocodiles and sharks. Every leader who sat there on an elective seat was elected because of Baba. You are either supporting Baba, got elected, or you are fighting Baba, got elected.
All right.
Then was it in order for leaders just to stand, not honoring Baba? Just one or two stood and said, Baba took me from this level to the next level. The rest, including government appointees, the CSS, when they stood, they said, Baba left us in broad-based government. My brother, was it necessary? What was the hurry? Was that a political rally or Baba's burial?
So you're poking questions into the burial, not the death
alone.
Again. Babu.
That alone.
Yes,
I've told you about the death. I need time to talk because I know a lot. I'm telling you, I campaigned with Baba in 280 constituencies out of 290. I did BBI around, I did presidential campaigns. I was with Baba. I was Baba's MP. I was Baba's boy. So when I tell you that I know a lot, before Baba passed on, 3 weeks, around 3 weeks we met before. He traveled. We talked. So my brother, when you see Babu here, he knows a lot. And the reason why I believe that I should be the party leader of ODM is because I know that I can implement Baba's ideologies. That continuity, that going concern,
okay,
we can implement it. Babu has gone through a lot for this party, you know that.
Yeah.
Arrests, re-arrests, abductions. I was the first person to have been abducted in Ruto's government.
Fair enough. They say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I see you smiling. I guess you already know where I'm heading. The United Opposition was in Gusiland, in Bomet, and they continue with their campaigns to make President William Ruto a one-term president. You seem to have a convergence of ideas. The goal is to remove President William Ruto. Is there a possibility of a convergence of political paths in the future? Or this is out of the table? You're bent on making this Linda Mwananchi faction the third force in the presidential election. Speak to Kenyans who are wondering.
My brother, when opposition leaders walk around the country and they say that there's high cost of living, there's no problem with them doing that. When they say that there's overtaxation, when they say that corruption is at its highest peak, they should be saying that. That is why they're in opposition. They should be keeping this government in check. They should ensure that they fight for the interest of common Mwananchi. When they do that, there is no mistake they are making. We should not start demonizing people and saying that you are doing a wrong thing. What makes you think that you are doing the right thing? President Ruto himself was in opposition between 2018 and 2022, correct? He was doing the same thing, correct? And in 2027, elections in Kenya, presidential elections, are one when people come together, coalitions, correct?
True.
So, if the opposition is doing what we are doing, is that a problem? There's no problem with that. If we unite with them, is there a problem? There is no problem with that.
So it's not off the table?
There is no problem with that. Okay. Baba himself shook hands with who? Moi, his greatest enemy. Baba shook hands with Kibaki. Baba shook hands with Uhuru. Baba shook hands with Ruto. My brother. So we can still work even with opposition.
Interesting. And we've seen members of the opposition in some of your tours. And perhaps I'd like you to clear out the hearsay. Because the members of Linda Ground have mentioned that perhaps Uhuru Kenyatta is the hidden hand, the financial muscle behind your tours. The embattled SG has been on record saying that no amount of money has left. He hasn't signed any money for this Linda Ground tours. So will you kindly tell Kenyans if there's any convergence with former President Uhuru Kenyatta? Is he perhaps the hidden hand, the hidden financial muscle?
You've reminded me of capitalism and communism, but that there should be a hidden hand somewhere controlling the market. And my brother, let me tell you that Uhuru Kenyatta had already served. He's now a former president. I don't think if there's any interest he's chasing, he doesn't want to be a president anymore. Correct? This same Uhuru Kenyatta who is being fought this March was with Baba. Correct? And I want to tell you that this former President Uhuru Kenyatta is not financing any of these rallies. We come together, we contribute the little that we have. That is how we fund ourselves. He is not in this thing. For what interest? You ask yourself, of what benefit? How will he benefit from this? He doesn't want to be a president. He's already served.
But he might be interested in who is not president. Why
should he be interested, yet he has already served? He has a democratic right to go and vote as any other normal Kenyan.
All right. Have there been overtures to try and calm the storm from the government side? Because some might question your firebrand tag. At the end of the day, you've mentioned that Baba himself was in his right mind while shaking hands with consecutive presidents for the benefit of the country. If President William Ruto comes dangling a carrot to Babu Owino, will that be the end of Linda Mwananchi? Because you can't tell me your hand will not shake the hand of a man who, your political mentor, I mean, he went ahead and made political truce for the sake of the country. So if push comes to shove, are you ready to shelve this journey?
My friend, is the president ready to work for Kenyans? Is the president ready to lower the high cost of living? Is he ready to deal with corruption? Is he ready to provide jobs for Kenyans? Is he ready to lower the cost of education? Is he ready to work on the health sector? Is he ready for the economy to grow? If those questions can be answered, then people can always stop. But is he ready to compensate the victims? Is he ready to stop the abductions because they are still going on? The other day, 2 days ago, my brother-in-law was abducted by the same government. So if all these vices have not been turned into virtues, then, my brother, we cannot work.
I'd like us to briefly talk about Nairobi County. You have aspirations, but before we get to that, there's an 80 billion corporation deal on the table. Of course, the courts have put it on pause, but it seems that it will be a reality for the next 2 years in Nairobi County. What do you make of the push to perhaps cooperate? I know it's legal under the Constitution for the national government to cooperate with these county governments. And we've heard that Nairobi County is a special status. It's not just a county, but it's the capital city. So regional and international obligations come with it. Is this a much needed solution to the perhaps underfunding that is facing the county? The issue of garbage, they seem to be collaborating on 4 key functions. Is this to the benefit of Nairobians?
Jesse, first of all, the cooperation was illegally done. There was no proper procedure. Yes, it is allowed. It can be done in case the governor is incapacitated. If the governor cannot think, that is also incapacitation. Instead of thinking with brains, now we use dimples to think. When that happens, then the government asks for help. The way he said that, you know, the responsibilities that you bestowed on me that are resting on his shoulders are too heavy, that he can't bear. The cross is too heavy, that he can't bear. Then he says, runs to the national government and says, please help me. I was elected by Nairobians, but I can't work for them. They told me to build roads, I can't do it. They told me to collect garbage, I can't collect. They told me to give them water, but I can't give them water. They told me to give them jobs, I can't give them jobs. They told me to pay medics, I can't pay medics. They told me to utilize, to create an enabling environment for business where licenses are cheap and people can do business, I can't do it. They told me to work on the health sector, to equip our health facilities with drugs, but I can't do it. Therefore, I am tired. I have lost hope. These people trusted me. They voted for me, but I am a useless governor. I'm a garbage. I can't do it. And therefore, lift the load off my shoulders. Then the national government comes in. Then you ask yourself that why do an incompetent national government approach or is approached by an incompetent county government to deliver services? Raise the case of a pygmy competing with another pygmy on who is the tallest. This cooperation, my brother, you are being told all of a sudden that there's 80 billion available. And we were being told, and even the national budget is not implemented, it's never implemented to its fullest. You find that every year we don't collect revenue that is sufficient for that specific year. All of a sudden there's 80 billion that is available that should transform Nairobi. Then you start wondering that why the focus. You take cabinet secretaries, 2/3 of this committee coming from the national government, Then the governor himself becomes a deputy, deputizing Musalia Mudavadi. So as we speak, Musalia Mudavadi is the governor of Nairobi because he is the chair of that committee. Correct? Deputized by Sakaja.
The two committees, I think, an implementation, Sakaja chairs as well.
No. Let me now tell you what is factual, not factoids. Okay? That Musalia Mudavadi is leading, deputized by the governor. Correct?
Yes.
So in other words, if the governor was given the mandate to be the governor of Nairobi, and now the governor is deputizing a prime cabinet secretary, who is now the governor of Nairobi, that alone tells you that there is no confidence in the governor. Okay? Do you know that the on-source revenue that we collect is collected from interior? Do you know that Nairobi...
What do you mean collected from interior?
Do you know that the governor... I need you to read the ad hoc, the report by the ad hoc committee that was formed to investigate how on-source revenue is collected in Nairobi. An 80-page document. My brother, this money is collected from the office of the interior. The governor only has rights to view only. But you see, for him to admit that this should happen, it means that there's corruption taking place there. It means that money is lost there. And they only declare what they know, what they want to declare. Correct?
In on-source revenue.
In on-source revenue. Okay. We make a budget of 43 billion Kenya shillings per year. On-source revenue should contribute approximately over 20 billion. National government should also give you approximately 20 billion, making approximately 43 billion.
All right.
But do you know that since Kidero's time, we've never achieved that collection of 20 billion. But the World Bank report, something funny is, World Bank report showed us, the last year's report, that Nairobi should be run on an on-source revenue. Nairobi can get its on-source revenue totaling to around 67 billion, plus the 20 billion from the national government. Therefore, Nairobi should be run with a total of 87 billion Kenya shillings. So it means that they are collecting more, but declaring less. And that was even, we were told that by the Auditor General. They even don't know what is happening, okay? So Nairobi is not a special county, but Nairobi has been electing special governors, mentally special governors. Why? Because Nairobi should be run with on-source revenue and then government, the national government funding, together with grants that you can receive. Then you implement, then you tell me that if there's garbage there, then that garbage is a special problem. Is it a special problem that Nairobi is special? Garbage. Just sweeping garbage and removing it. And that garbage, what can you do with it? You can use it to create jobs. Let youth, women, men register companies.
Makes sense. I'd like you to break it down.
Let me explain this very well because you asked me about Nairobi, right?
Yeah, and my next question is equally about Nairobi.
Yeah.
What makes you different, Babu Owino? And not just in terms of intellectual ability, because that does not boil down to the attributes of a good leader. There's so much more. We've seen different individuals. Not all are characterized by perhaps what you'd call mental incapacity.
So Jesse, Nairobi needs a visionary leader, not a missionary leader. A leader with a vision to transform Nairobi. A vision to ensure that garbage that you're seeing is converted into something meaningful. What can be done from that garbage? Number one, youth, men and women can register companies. Then they collect garbage, you pay them, creating jobs. Right from the slums, you can devolve that. Number two, that same garbage can be used to generate electricity that can be used in Nairobi. And therefore, with the moment you generate electricity in Nairobi, you will do advertisement, you will get proper revenue. Proper? How do you generate electricity from that garbage? You use it as fuel to boil the water. And then that water turns into steam. Steam turns the turbines to generate electricity. Then Nairobi should be a 24-hour economy, bringing competition with the Kenya Power, which can equally bring more revenue. Because the moment now Nairobi generates its own electricity, Kenya Power has competition. You see, so many people will even avoid these illegal connections, and that money will still go back to the government in terms of collection. So this garbage is a multi-billion-dollar business where people can earn from it, Nairobians can get jobs from it, you can generate electricity from it. At the same time, that farm will provide jobs for the people, and then you can also put street lights with it where advertisement will be done that will generate revenue. Number 2, work on water as a leader. What can Babu do with the challenge of water? I did tell you that the water that we consume in Nairobi, first of all, this thing that cleaning the river Nairobi, that is gibberish. That is all sewage. We cannot clean sewage. That is sewage. Why can't we? We cannot even use that water for anything.
So it's a lost cause.
Not good for,
this is the city under
that is
the sun, the
corruption,
green
my brother.
city.
That is corruption, my brother. Because you've not even been told that that water is used for irrigation. Correct? You've not been told that that water can be consumed. Correct? Then let's go to the issue of water. We get water from Kikuyu Springs. We get water all the way from the Kikuyu Spring goes to the Kabete plant. Okay?
Yeah, you mentioned this earlier. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Then we get water from the Ruiru Dam, Thika Dam. Okay? Northern Tunnel Water Collector. Then I talked about the statistics of 1 billion that is needed to be consumed in Nairobi on a daily basis. Okay? Then, unfortunately, we only get 600 million liters of water, around 660 million liters of water on a daily basis. So approximately 400 or 340 million liters. We can't get it. As a result of number one, that the piping that we did, the infrastructure for water, were done during the colonial era. So therefore, there's so much leakage of water. Water is lost through leakages. Number 2, there's contamination with sewage. So you can't consume, it's unfit. Number 3, there are cartels who are blocking this water so that they can sell. So what is the solution to this? As a governor, you have to deal with these cartels.
How?
And the moment you're a governor, who is a cartel and what is a cartel, my brother? You've been elected, majority vote. You have the people power, you have the instruments of power, you have the security apparatus, you have everything that you at your disposal to destroy a cartel. A cartel can be chased back to the bush.
You know it fights back as well.
My
You're
brother, it doesn't
incorruptible.
matter. Let me tell you something. The moment you are a leader with a vision, you will deal with this. So the issue of water.
All right. As we finalize, sir.
The issue of water.
Yeah.
The best solution to cure this deficit of water is to construct dams. But you cannot just construct dams without the help of the national government. So therefore, as a county government, you make contribution and you talk to the national government so that you can construct dams that can supply, at least 2 dams, that can supply water to Nairobians. Next is roads. When it rains, my brother, drainage system, you get Lake Nairobi, rivers, River Langata Road, River Uhuru Highway.
Reality,
so construct roads for the people and do proper drainage system. Correct?
So the solutions are in hand.
These are easy things. Even my grandmother can do these things. My grandmother in the village can wake up and do this job.
I'd like to give you a chance to
You talk about, my brother.
Our time is up.
Yeah, well, let's proceed, kidogo. the issue of jobs.
Yeah.
Create jobs for Nairobians. These licenses, make them affordable so that so many people can do business, as many as possible. That is creation of jobs, so that people can do businesses. Talk about medics. Pay medics. Pay medics on time. Pay your workers, county workers, on time. Equip these health facilities with the drugs and medical equipment. When you do this, don't you think that you can be the president after that?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of the concept of snakeskin salesmen, snake oil salesmen. They come promising heaven.
Let me tell you.
We were told of a plan that has to work. It seems it's not working.
My brother, leave those things. Leave those things. Babu Owino has been ranked as the best member of parliament in Kenya.
Okay. Fair enough.
Development track record.
Fair enough.
That tells you that if little can be trusted with me, then much can even be trusted with me.
Parting shot, Babu Owino. We've talked about matters to do with Nairobi. matters to do with ODM infighting. I'm pretty sure Kenyans will be asking, what's the next step? As you guys are taking a hiatus, as you recover, regroup, as Ramadan ends, speak to Kenyans who will be interested in the steps you'll be taking in the next few months as we run up to the general election. And mind you, some of them are saying that this is just a ripple, it's not a wave. How will you ensure you sustain the pressure 1 month or 1 year, 5 months to the general election?
My brother, the problem with Kenyans is that they are doubting, some of Kenyans are doubting Thomas's. Doubting Thomas said clearly that I want to know if this is truly Jesus Christ. But what they forget is that Thomas is the only disciple who went to the farthest part of the world to preach the gospel. There was the good news.
Okay.
So let us not be doubting Thomas's. I want to tell Kenyans from wherever you are, I know that you are going through different challenges. Challenge of rent, challenge of school fee, challenge of unemployment. And I want to tell you as a father, as a mother, that do not lose hope. There's a child somewhere who believes that this father is my father, who is proud of you. Do not lose hope. There's a Pamamboga somewhere who today did not even get a shilling. There's a woman somewhere who went to plow farm so that they can get school fee, so that they can invest for their children. But it is not enough. There is a Juakali artisan who wakes up very early in the morning, a boda rider, a person who goes from Jengo, people with no jobs. There is that the JSS teacher who has not been confirmed on a permanent and pensionable basis. I want to tell you that you should not lose hope. I want to tell you that 2027 is fast approaching and the ray of hope is coming. Stars will always shine in the dark. And I want to promise you that under the leadership of Babu Owino and other leaders, we shall do that which we must do to ensure that we bring a smile on your faces, to ensure that we work for you and deliver you from the shackles of corruption, from the bondage of poverty. We will work for you.
Put that in short words. But anyway, thank you so much for your time, and hoping to see you right here in the studios again, because it seems your message is resonating with the masses. All the best in your political endeavors.
And I advise the masses to join Basi. Our car is called Basi. Babu Sifuna Bas. Basi. Okay?
So it starts with Babu, not Sifuna.
Either way, because it is the case of the moon and the sun.
But you know the moon gets...
The
sun still feeds the moon with light, you know?
Yeah,
so
that is why we need each other. It is for you to find out. But the sun can be any person in this team.
Okay.
The moon is also any person in this team.
All right.
So long as there is no eclipse.
And you wouldn't be going in separate directions.
No. For now, we are laser focused. The direction we are going is the direction of the people. To work for the people.
Thank you so much. We take a short break at that particular juncture. You're watching KTN Prime. We'll be back with much more. Stay with us. Time for another break. Still ahead in business news, stakeholders alarmed over shipping tariffs. We have the details.